Hi, in this video for the very first time I'm joined by my friend Maria. She's an avid cyclist. I'm taking her out in my IONIQ Electric car to see what she makes of the experience. In my last video I talked about affordability of electric cars as a reason why more people still don't drive them. But it's also important to consider people who may already have fairly sustainable ways of getting around and they don't need or want to drive a car. Perhaps they walk, use mass transit like buses or trains, or they cycle. You'll notice that Maria is younger than me, and she lives and commutes inside a big city, but she does like to travel around a bit too. She can drive, but she doesn't currently own or use a car. She likes cycling a lot. Last summer, for fun, she cycled from Berlin, Germany to, wait for it, Copenhagen, Denmark. That's about 650 kilometers, or a little over 400 miles, that she covered in 6 days. Cycling, of course, is zero tailpipe emissions transport par excellence. It's more efficient than walking, and great tech is happening, like electrically powered or assisted bikes and scooters. And there's amazing efficiency in recumbent bicycles and cool aerodynamic covered bikes called Velomobiles. I found out about these, by the way, when Saukki subscribed to Zero Tailpipe. With his permission, this is some of his footage from Finland riding his bikes, and his channel is linked in the description box below. But now back to Maria. We took a few drives in my IONIQ, used the smart cruise control, lane keeping assist, accelerated a bit and tried out a few quieter moments too, with Maria as my passenger. So what are her thoughts of it all? And what will her fresh and unbiased opinions be about my car too? Let's find out now. So the first question is, do you know how to drive?
That's a good question. Sorry. No, I'm saying that it's a good question because I haven't actually driven a car since 2011.
Do you want to own a car?
In the future, yes. I would like to go as long as I can without, and also that I'm concerned about the environment and overall implications of owning too much stuff.
What do you know about, or what have you heard about, electric cars?
You know, you can't live in the modern world without hearing about electric cars or about Tesla and about all of the others.
Okay, so you've just mentioned Tesla, but do you know any other electric car brands?
Hyundai.
If I was sponsored by them, I would say well done, but no.
Nissan, Kia. I've been inside two kinds of electric cars, Hyundai IONIQ and Kia Soul.
Which is better?
I really liked Kia Soul much better because it's so cute.
Would you be prepared to spend about £20,000 to buy an electric car, or about £300 a month to lease one?
My concerns would be mostly economic. So what are the alternative costs that I would be paying if I were to, to use a different mode of transport, or if I were to own a different kind of car. Being a cyclist, I really like commuting to work by bike, and currently I don't live too far away from my workplace, so I don't need a car.
What are your thoughts then after having been in this car?
So it's very scary. There are so many unknowns.
My driving, or?
You asked about the car, you didn't ask about your driving. But there are many things that are unknown to me in this car, and that, the unknown and the uncertain things about it make it scary because I can't understand them. For example, your cruise controlling and how the assisted automation driving part of it is pretty much the scariest part about this car.
Do you think it's noticeably different to other cars you've been in terms of quietness or comfort or anything like that?
In terms of quietness, yes. It's very quiet, and this is what struck me the first time I found myself in an electric car, how quiet it is. In terms of overall comfort, I actually find the design and the interior of the car quite modest. I'm not sure whether it's something about the price points or the policy of Hyundai, or how electric cars are generally positioned, but there's not a great deal of luxury feeling coming from this car.
What are your thoughts about the kind of environmental aspects of this car?
So the environmental aspects is what would attract me in getting an electric car, if I had to choose between getting a normal car and an electric car. However, I would really like to know more about how electric cars are produced, what goes into the battery, how sustainable and ethical and responsible the production value chain is. Well, if electric cars are marketed for the consumers with high environmental concerns, then companies should be very transparent about where the components for the cars come from.
How would sort of, driving this car, being in this car, how does that compare with your other travel options that you've got?
I hate taking taxis, and I try to avoid that as much as possible. And I wish they could be an option to take an electric car, because whenever I have to select an alternative mode of transport, I am conscious about the carbon emissions. And I fly a lot for work, and I do try to somehow contain my environmental footprint. So taking a bus or a train is always more preferable, but I wish if I had to take a taxi, I could take an electric car.
What's your kind of overall thoughts about the experience of me kind of taking you out in the car, driving you around in it?
Well, it's not just, I guess, you, it's so I have another friend who drives an electric car, and one commonality that I noticed, and I wonder if your viewers think the same, is that if you own an electric car, then you don't just own a car, you are championing it. It's not just a vehicle and a mode of transportation for both you and my other friends, and I feel like this could be true for people who are, who do drive electric cars. It's something that you have to spend time to get to know what an electric car is, what are the trends in the industry, what are the innovations that different manufacturers put in their cars, and where they could lead us. And you have to think much more about your car and what it means and what it can and cannot do and what it could and should do, than normal drivers that just use their cars to get from point A to point B. And during shooting this video, I think, my opinion only became stronger about this. And I want to say some things, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you have a video on your channel where you compare the test level noise levels of IONIQ and cars on normal cars on the road. And actually, it's something that has been bothering me because I watched that video and then I've been paying attention to. So when I cycle, I actually navigate a lot by noise, because you may notice that cyclists don't have rear view mirrors. So the way I if I need to turn, obviously I look back, but I can't be looking back every 10 meters. So I navigate myself, and I have this idea where I am exactly on the road and what is my environment. It is by noise, and normal cars are very noisy, and you can, as a cyclist, you can understand when there is a normal car behind you, but electric cars are indeed much quieter than normal cars. But doesn't this create a hazard for cyclists? Because I think I'm not the only cyclist who uses hearing to understand the environment around her, so perhaps electric cars should be noisy. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that it would be interesting for you to hear about.
We then went and I let Maria rapid charge our IONIQ without any instructions, so she quite systematically, I think, worked out which of the 3 plugs in the bewildering array of plugs that we have in the rapid chargers in the UK fit the socket on the car, an issue that I'm sure has put off many a newcomer to electric cars. But she worked out the right one, she plugged it in all okay with no help, and then she managed to start. This was a free charge on this unit. She managed to start it and managed to rapid charge our IONIQ, which I thought was great. I think it's important to bear in mind the point of view of people like Maria, because it's a reminder that not everybody needs or wants to get about by car. They might use public transport or be perfectly happy with other ways of doing things. They're not automatically going to switch to electric cars, and anyway, not every journey needs to be by car. My thanks again to Maria for helping out by being in this video, and if you cycle a lot or have other interesting ways of getting around, please share in the comments box below. Thanks for watching this video, please subscribe if you'd like to see more, and bye for now. Oh, and a quick PS, different day, different shirt. If you'd like me to follow up on that issue that Maria mentioned about cyclists not being able to hear electric cars coming, perhaps Maria and another cyclist friend are willing to kind of give that a go in another video to try out when they can actually hear the IONIQ nearby and so on. So if you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments and I'll try and set that up. Okay, thanks again. Bye for now.